Hello ladies and gentlemen, we are back today with another build video, and this time it's the 1/72nd scale Azure Mystere IV.A in the Indian Air Force scheme. I have already done an unboxing of this kit about 3 months ago, so if you haven't seen that, I'll leave a link to that below so you can watch it. So we begin the build with these photo etch parts, and the very first step is to construct the rudder pedals. These rudder pedals are part of the photo etch fret that is included within the kit. So here you can see me now holding the photo etch part in one tweezer and taking the help of the other tweezers to bend it from the bottom as was suggested in the instructions, and then placing it on the floor of the cockpit to depict the rudder pedal. Now this part FR020/21/22, it's basically a film that sandwiches between the photo etch part of the instrument panel and the sprue part of the instrument panel as shown in the instructions here. There you can see that the film is sandwiched between the two parts, and it gives a very nice touch to the overall instrument panel look, almost like a 3D instrument panel. A good set of resin parts is also included with the kit box, and here you can see me pulling out the seat. This is basically the resin seat. However, I realized that this seat is actually the Martin Baker seat, whereas in the Indian Air Force Mysteres we had the SN Caso ejection seats. Now I went to the internet and I searched for SN Caso. It gives me the SN Caso E95 ejection seat, which is the one used on the Indian Air Force Mysteres, and I found that it is markedly different from the resin seat that is included with the kit. And so I would have to move on to my spares box looking for a seat that fits the profile, and I would have to do a little bit of scratch building with the seat. So I found this KM1 ejector seat. This is from a MiG-21 kit, and I began scratch building the parts for the SN Caso ejection seat for the Mystere IV.A. So I'm simply using plastic card here to construct the seat profile. And basically I'm using some putty to construct the headrest of the SN Caso ejection seat. And here we are with a comparison with what was available in the resin parts versus what was constructed and scratch built by me. Even the instrument panel now is ready, and it gives a very nice 3D touch to the overall look of the cockpit. The instructions for the landing gear bay assembly were pretty confusing because, as you can see here, they show you parts A8, A10, A19 and A11, and in my opinion A11 was wrong and confusing, because if you look at step number 2, which is just the previous step, part number A11 is being used here as well. Now that became a confusion, and so I decided to check the sprue map, and here in the sprue map also you can see that we've got parts A9 and A10, and you can also see that part 11, 12, 13 and 14 are totally different. So that's an error on the part of Azure, or from, or basically the kit manufacturer. Alright, so time to cut off the fuselage halves from the sprues and construct the cockpit interiors and the nose bulkhead, and also the main undercarriage gear bay bulkheads, and you can see that the fit is quite okay. Right, so the next step asks you to assemble PUR1 inside the fuselage halves, which is the exhaust assembly, but I will just do away with it. Okay, moving on to the wing assembly then. So there was a little bit of difficulty that I faced in attaching the wing here, and so I had to sand off the groove inside which the wing notch would fit in. But a little bit of sanding really helped in aligning the wings in a much better way, and you can see that there's hardly any gap there. There was a similar problem with the alignment of the horizontal stabilizers as well, and you can see that big gap out there as you assemble it inside the grooves in the rudder assembly. And so in order to ensure that the fit was good, I had to trim down a lot of the attachment groove, or basically the locator pin attached on the horizontal stabilizer, sand it off smooth and ensure that everything else aligns perfectly. Now, the Indian Air Force Mysteres had the parachute housing, which is the drag chute housing basically, and so here you can see me assembling that, which is a good touch that they gave to this particular kit. Usually the French Mysteres did not have the parachute housing, and the parachute housing made a re-entry on the Israeli Super Mysteres. I decided to go wheels up with this build because this is a commission build, and you can see how bad the fit of those undercarriage gear bay doors is, so this would need a lot of filling and sanding. Right, so I simply sprayed a coat or two of the Bosnia silver spray can, and basically there was just a black primer underneath, and on top I sprayed that. So I did not film that because the conditions outside were not favorable for filming the spraying. And here you can see me applying the decals onto the model, and these decals were printed at home. Now the serial number, basically IA1332, and this is not my research. This research has been performed by another person. This is the jet that was flown by late Squadron Leader A.B. Devaya, and I'll come back to that shortly. But these are the walkway decals on the wing, and I faced a lot of challenge in applying it on the left wing in one single go. So I had to cut down the right wing decals into more manageable pieces so that I could align them properly along the wing panels on the right wing. Right, the final step was to apply a subtle bit of weathering, and this is basically a brown wash that I created with Camlin chalk pastels with some dishwashing liquid and water. And here you can see me applying that in a pin wash method, which means just inside the panels and not on the entire surface of the wings. And then once the wash was dry, I used a damp kitchen towel to wipe off the excess, and then fine-tuned the weathering with a cotton Q-tip in the end. Finally, after attaching the canopy, it was time to attach the VHF antenna on the nose, and this is constructed with a stretch sprue, although this part is included as a photo etch on the main photo etch fret. But you can see part number 14. I thought it's a very flimsy part, so I rather constructed it with a stretch sprue, and it looks much better. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, I present the completed model of the 1/72nd scale Azure Mystere IV.A in the Indian Air Force scheme with serial number IA1332. So IA1332 is the aircraft flown by then squadron leader A.B. Devaya, who is known for shooting down a much superior F-104 starfighter during a combat in the 1965 war. The gentleman was awarded a Mahavir Chakra posthumously for his bravery and courage under fire 23 years after the incident took place, because both sides had their own claims to make. And in the chaos of war, as we all know, there's a lot that happens that is never accounted for, and this is one of those incidences that went down in history as a legend. But what is ironical is that in this story, it is the opposite side that actually validated the claim for A.B. Devaya shooting down a superior starfighter just with his guns. What's even more legendary about this story is that A.B. Devaya's Mystere was already shot at by the very starfighter that he was dogfighting. Literally a fight of guts, gumption, and glory, as I would put it. For 23 years, this story was shrouded in mystery because both sides made their own claims, and even an independent research by a British war journalist at that point did not agree to the claim. But then it was the opposite side, Air Commodore Kaiser Tufail, who finally put all the claims, debates, and arguments in favor of A.B. Devaya and put the final nail in the coffin and gave clear validations to the Indian side of the story that A.B. Devaya actually shot down the starfighter before he plunged to his own demise. A story that gives you goosebumps as many times as you listen to it, and has gone down in the legends of the Indian Air Force history, and I hope I was able to do justice to the build here today. There is a very interesting video by Showtime 112 on this very incident, and it's very interestingly made using DCS Combat Simulator, and I suggest you do visit that channel and see that video to understand the story yourself. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Do consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye, take care.